Hello everyone and welcome back to tutorial number 3 in the Office add-in development series. In this tutorial, let's write some code. So firstly, I'm a part of the Power Platform user group ppug.org. If you are not part of the user group, I would highly recommend that you join the user group. Just go to our website ppug.org and join the user group. So that being said, we are going to write the code, and we briefly touched upon this in the last tutorial, but I wanted to actually touch on this again because this is when we are going to write some code. There are two APIs that are very important. One is the common APIs, which are common for all the Office applications, and then there is a host specific API, such as tailored for Word, Excel, Outlook, etc. If I go back into my project out here, and the important file is taskpane.js, you will see that here we have Word specific API, word.run, right? This is not a common API. This is specific to the Word application. However, if you see Office.ready is a common API, right? It's a common API. It checks if our Office is ready. If I go to the HTML, we also see that there is Office.js, which loads the Office JavaScript libraries, and then we have the CDN. Okay, I hope that this is clear. Getting back to the slides, oops, fast fingers. You see that Office add-in development or Office add-in executes within the context of an Office application. So you will see that when you run the sandbox code, there is no direct access to the processes, right? However, you have got the context, the proxy objects, and much more. For example, if you want to go ahead and get selection, you can use the get selection method or the common object. If you're working with tables, you can use the tables. You can also insert rich content such as HTML, images, charts, etc. to your Office application right from your add-in. Now, when I say all of this, this might be a bit confusing. Don't worry, we have examples to follow which actually talks about this in much details. So first and foremost, as I told you, initialization of the Office add-in. Office.onReady is the method that actually initializes the add-in, and it is loaded as soon as the page loads. So let's go ahead and see a few examples. So I'm talking about the first example on the screen, which is word.run async. And what does this does? Whenever we select a text, it should console log the text. So we are going to use the get selection method from the document. Okay, we are going to access the context of the document, get the selection and load it. Let's see it in action. So if I go into my tasks pane out here, if you see I have the context out here. Let me do this, right? If I comment this out, and if I copy this line of code with a return, then try to see if there are errors. Are there errors? There seems to be no error. And if I go and say npm stop, pray to the demo gods that I don't get any errors. I hit the back button, don't save, right? And if I do an npm start again, it should open my demo server and it should actually help me with the code, right? It loaded, so that's good. So it shows me the right text. So console.log, you'll say, Clavin, where do I see the console.log? As I told you, this is actually like a website. So you can right click, inspect, and it will open the console or the developer portal for you. At this point, first let me copy some random text and put it in. So I'll put this in my Word document. I'll select this text and I'll say get user profile information. If you see, it's not updating the particular UI because there's no logic in here. But if you see, it logged the selected text. Understand this. What we did in our code is that we used the get selection. First, we got the context. Within the context, we got the document. And then we said, use the get selection method. We loaded it and we console logged it. Now let me do something fancy and try again. I'll say, welcome my friends to ppug.org. And I'll say, thank you nutrient.io for helping us. Okay. So if I copy this and if I click on a button and I can actually go to the DOM tool out here, you see, I get that. Now understand this. This is so wonderful, right? You're getting the text. That means you can take this text, send it somewhere else, maybe translate it and get it back and write it back into the document. You can change the text, right? Let's append some text to the existing text. So I'm going to copy some code. All of this code sample will be presented to you. Don't worry at all. So let's go back here. So it's going await out here. So this is what is getting the selected text, right? Let's say that I want to go ahead and append something. So instead of this, just remove this, right? And if I want to append text, so I can actually say, maybe just click here, right? And instead of this, I can use this. And this is my code. So what I'm doing out here is pretty simple. I'm going ahead and inserting some text and also inserting the appended text, right? So if I click on save and if I do the same thing again, that is go ahead and maybe stop and then start again, I will be re-rendering our particular control. Does it work? No, it doesn't. So this time my viewer didn't load properly. So we need to do the drill, okay? First, close all the Word application. This is what I do. I need to say npm stop and then I want to say npm start. When I say npm start, this should launch first the local workbench or the local dev server. And after that, if it loads correctly, you should go ahead and see that. So I'll just say, thank you all for joining, right? I hope this is good tutorial. And don't forget to subscribe if you like it, right? So let's say that I select this text and I add this, right? When I add this, to be very honest, nothing happened, right? So if I click on it, nothing happened. So let's go ahead and try to debug this problem. So what's the problem out here? What I can do, copy this. I can use my agent or I can use ChatGPT, I guess. So let me quickly use the ChatGPT. So I'm in my ChatGPT. I'm going to paste this JavaScript and I'm going to say, I didn't want to press enter, trust me. So I'm going to stop this because that's not the prompt that you want to say. So what I'm going to do is I am building a Word add-in. My code does not insert text to the document. What am I doing wrong, right? And I'll give it the sample code. Let's see what does it come out. Do you trust in AI? I trust AI. So let's see if it gives us the correct output. In the meantime, I can just say, go back to this. I can say stop. So this has stopped my web server or my local host web server. And this is what it tells me. So it tells me that you're calling in a text, but there's no body variable. Okay, it makes sense. So what I want to do is I want to use this function instead, right? That's what it goes ahead and tells me. So it tells me that I should use this logic instead. So I'll copy this logic. I'll go back into my Visual Studio Code, right? And this is good. So I can just replace from here because that's the return and that's the run. Let's click on save, right? Pray to the demo gods and trust on AI. And let's see if this gives me what I wanted it to be. So it's launching my Word. I can see that my demo server has launched correctly. I'll again say thank you. And I will click on this, select this, click on this button. Voila! Here you see this was appended and thank you. So you see that you can insert text as well, right? If you stumble, right? If you stumble just like I stumbled, don't worry, AI is your friend. You can use the Copilot agent or you can use ChatGPT or any other AI-based agentic tools to go ahead and actually get the possible output. So that being said, we covered two particular use cases. One was actually getting the selection. One was writing to the document. If you want to search and format, you have an example on the screen that you can search and format text. Again, if you see, I'm using the word specific word.run and I am changing the font color to blue. Similarly, if you want to tag a content or a control, the code is on your screen. If you want to insert HTML, this is how you do it. For error handling, you can use the classic try and catch block, right? So there is something known as Office extension.error. It will give you the debug info. You can go ahead and use that as well. And I think that's the end of this tutorial. I hope that you have enjoyed this particular tutorial and we have written some code. In the next tutorial, we are going to go ahead and have our Office add-in deployed to Azure with a single sign-on. So thank you, have a great day, and bye-bye.